What's going on? What's going on? This is your boy Jay Will, your host of the Jay Will podcast. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered to be a legal, health, tax, or professional advice of any kind. We're not responsible for any losses, damages, or liabilities that may arise from the use of this podcast. You can find the Jay Will podcast on the homepage, which is rss.com, Jay Will podcast. To donate to the podcast, please find the donate feature on the homepage, or you may do so via Cash App, which is $JWill Podcast. You can follow me on my music page, which is James Williams Music on Facebook. This podcast is brought to you by J Will Music Production LLC. For more information, you can contact me at JWill Music Production LLC at gmail.com or LEEWILLJ at gmail.com. This podcast is also sponsored by Crain and Charliesmusicfactory. For all of your production needs, go ahead and give Chris Crain a call. It's also sponsored by It's All Gospel Radio. You can listen to some of the world's greatest and most finest gospel artists, especially independent artists, on this radio station. It's allgospelradio.com. It's also sponsored by the Anointed Radio Network podcast, which is an affiliate of the J Will podcast and also a carrier of the J Will podcast. For more information, please email me at jwillmusicproductionllc.com or LEEWILLJ@gmail.com. If you're a recording artist and you would like to submit your music to the J Will Gospel Show or the Unsigned Artist Gospel Show, which airs on It's allgospelradio.com, please do so at the email that I've just given to you. Got a special person interviewing me on tonight. You're going to love this guy. Coming to the stage is Pastor Donald Hart. How are you, sir?
I am well this evening. What about yourself, man?
Oh, I'm blessed. I'm blessed, man. And considering that I got you to do an interview with me, I'm highly favored.
I don't know about that.
Man. So is it cold? Where you from?
We're glad to be over South Mississippi, and this is expected to be one of the coldest nights of the year. So they expect to get down into the low 30s and the high 20s tonight. So we got one of the shelters here in the northern part of the county open tonight because they have freeze warnings and a winter alert out on tonight. So we do have one of the shelters open tonight so that people can get in out of the inclement weather.
Man. Yeah, y'all getting ready to have some pipes busting down there.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, 30 degrees is not really that low of a temperature,
right?
But when you have the relative humidity that y'all have down there, all the condensation sticks to the pipes.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
Wow. So, have you lived in Mississippi your whole life?
Most of my life, outside of almost 10 years, I did live in Dallas, Texas. And so, I lived in Dallas, Texas. And so outside of that, I've been here.
So I'm surprised you don't have, you lived in Dallas. Surprised you don't have a cowboy hat on right now.
No, I don't wear Dallas memorabilia all the time. I do have my share of Dallas memorabilia, but not all the time. But Dallas did rub off on me while I was there. I grew up a Raiders fan. Me being a lefty, when we played on the schoolyard, I was always a Kent Stabler fan, and always liked Kenny Rogers. With him with the know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Oh yeah.
So I loved Kid Stabler though, because him being that lefty, and you didn't have many lefty quarterbacks when I was growing up. So we used to get out there with Sandlot. You had to mimic somebody. So Ken Stabler was my guy.
So I'm gonna let you keep your black card. Because you say you like Kenny Rogers.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I think everybody likes a little country music now, especially with Chapel Hart and so many other artists, Darius Rucker and so many other artists coming on the scene now with country music, and so
Now, you brought up the name. Now, you related to Chapel Hart, right?
yeah, yeah. Those are my cousins.
Man,
Yeah.
those of y'all that hadn't, if y'all hadn't heard Chapel Hart's music, y'all need to look those young ladies up. They can really, really
Oh
sing.
yeah. And that runs in our family with us being related, and so many that are in the family have that gift in one way or another. And I know that your brother and so many other talents that run throughout the family with Mother Helen and Lance and all throughout the family that's related in one way or another to the Harts, the Williams, and just so many that I could name in the family
Yeah,
that the singing, the producing, it runs deep in the family with music. So
yeah.
yeah, but I got
So,
left out on that aspect. You know,
yeah,
I
but
don't even I don't even try. I don't even
you,
try.
you got other talents that we're gonna get into in just a minute. But so you're a barber.
Yeah.
So when did you become a barber? It was after you moved back to Mississippi from Texas.
No, actually, I've been cutting hair since I was about 12 years old.
Oh yeah.
I started cutting hair when I was about 12 years old. I picked it up from my brother Harvey. And my brother Harvey used to cut my hair as well as other people's hair, my dad and so many others. But when he would come to the house, I would watch him. And that was before your TR liners and all those liners like that. He would line us up with the blade, So he would use a double edged razor
Really?
to, yeah, he would line us up with a razor blade, was what they called it back in those days. And so he would line us up with those razor blades and, the soap and water. And so he would get that soap and water and soften it up and line us up with that razor blade. And so I was always fascinated with that. And so, I used to follow him and kind of watch him, how he would do that and that steady hand and so good with it until I wanted to do that. And so did it growing up, porch barber running around the neighborhood, cutting people's hair for $1 or two.
Yeah.
And so I did it all growing up, a lot of my friends and so forth. But I could never afford to, quit working when I left home when I was 19. I did welding when I went to Pearl River Community College,
Okay.
but that's what took me to Dallas working. And so when I went over there, I knew I couldn't quit a job and try to get into barber school over there, you know. But when I moved back from Dallas, that's when I decided to take a job part time at Walmart and hop back in school
Oh,
and
okay.
go to barber school.
Yeah.
And that's when I pursued the welding. I mean, the barber career.
So you go to Texas as a welder. You come back, take a job at Walmart. Then you go to barber school, and then you graduate barber school, and you open up a barber shop, and
Right.
then you get married.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. I met my wife when I was in barber school.
Oh
And
yeah.
my wife, just coincidence, had met my wife, and she's doing hair already. And so I met my wife. She's already doing hair. She's a braider. She's does a lot of natural hair, and a lot of natural hair designs, and different things of that nature. But she does perms, relaxers, all that stuff as well. But in any event, I met her, and she's kind of in the hair business already, and so she was working at the cleaners at the time, and I promised her that she was send me to school, starch and iron, my uniform look better than everybody else at school, because
Yeah.
she working at the cleaners, so my t-shirts and stuff be fold, man, like they came by the store every day,
Yeah.
And so she can bring my stuff to the cleaners and have my stuff. Everybody like, man, what you got? I say, hey, don't worry about that. But my wife in that presser, in there working that presser at the cleaners, and I promised her, hey, you help me finish this thing with school. I'm gonna put you through school as well.
Yeah.
And so, by the help of the good Lord, man, we were able to accomplish our goals. And I finished school first, and then she got in Moeller Beauty College over in Mandeville.
Yeah.
And she got in Moeller, and Moeller shut down while she was in Moeller over there, and she wound up transferring. They sent their students over to the Academy of Creative Hair Design, some of them. And so she was able to finish up in Slidell. And so she finished up there, and rest is history pretty much. Heart to
Yeah.
Heart Barber and Style Shop was birthed through that. And we opened there on Main Street first. I was in that shop there. We were renting from Laverne Guy on Main Street.
Yeah.
And we actually opened our location that we are in now in 2008.
Okay. Okay. So, man, that's a pretty awesome testimony, man. Y'all helped each other out, but she had you starched in iron, man.
Oh yeah, every day, every day, every day. My jacket, everything was, clean. I'm telling you, yeah, every day, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You had to marry her, man.
Oh
You-
yeah, sure, yeah. I'm telling you, I'm telling you,
yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
So, after how long after that did you become a pastor?
I started working in ministry over at Rosa Sharon back in uh, '96, and deacon board, and even mentioning that about my wife. I haven't mentioned to my wife because going to Dallas, I guess I knew that I had a call to the ministry on my life, but I was bound and determined I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I had gone to Dallas knowing that I didn't want to answer this strong pull, this strong call to the ministry. And so I went to Dallas, kind of rebelling like Jonah, you know, and going to Dallas and, going out there and kind of doing things the way I wanted and the way I saw fit. And God still had his hand on me. He had grace and mercy on me and going out there and one Sunday morning I remember vividly that I had decided I was going to go to church this Sunday and determining that I was going that Sunday, and I got a phone call, and I got a phone call to come and do something else, to go, to meet some people and everything. And so I changed my whole plan around. Changed my whole plan around. Now I'm not going to church. Now I'm gonna go do this and go take care of this other stuff and all that. I got up, changed my plan, and I was headed to where I was going. When I was headed to where I was going, I was getting ready to get up on I-35 off Loop 12 in Dallas. And when I was getting ready to get up on I-35, I just made it as far as probably Keys Boulevard. And when I made it just about to there, my car started smoking from the vents. And when my car started smoking from the vents, and I pulled over to see what was going on, and I pulled over and I'm looking under the dash trying to figure something burning in here, something. And I got under there, started looking around. I got burn marks on my hand now, from
Wow.
what was going on. And so I'm looking under there. I started pulling wires. Man, wires are hot, red hot. They melting together in my hand. And so I pulled and pulled and tried to see what was going on. And finally, this smoke was billowing now out of my vents. And so I got there's a bottle in my cup holder. And with that bottle being in my cup holder, I'm sitting up there trying to figure out what's going on. And with all this stuff happening so fast, I grabbed that bottle and I'm going to fill that bottle as a little ravine right off the side of the road there. and I'm gonna go and try to fill that bottle with water, not knowing you can't put out electrical fire with water. I'm just
Right,
young,
right.
you know. So I go down in that ravine and I'm gonna try to fill that bottle up. And when I look back up on the side of the road, man, fire was standing out of my sunroof already.
Wow.
That fire had crawled up that windshield and was engulfing that headliner. And with engulfing that headliner like that, then everything was just catching so fast. I can see the headliner dripping inside the car. It's black Cutlass, burgundy crushed velvet interior, beautiful car.
That's a pimp car.
Beautiful car. But in any event, white wall, white leather tires, with the rally wheels. Beautiful car.
You're making my case right now, right?
Beautiful car. Beautiful car. It wasn't no pimp car. It
All right, all right.
said raised white leather tires, so it had the rally wheels. So it
Yeah,
ain't no pimp car.
yeah, yeah.
So more the sport coupe looking car. But
Yeah,
in any
okay.
event, had a big speaker in the back and all this. But I sit there. I had to sit down because by now everything's catching up with no putting it out. I had to sit down on that bridge and watch that car burn.
Wow.
And God, the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, "This is your life. You burning it up.
Wow.
This is your life. You burning it up." And while I sit there and watch that car burn, I realized that I was burning my good years. I was burning up time because everything I cared about, I had to change of clothes. I was going to meet these people. I had to change of clothes, my black book, all the things, my pager during the time of pages now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I had all this stuff that I cared about was in this car. And so I'm out there before I sit down, I was out there trying to flag folks, and this guy stopped with a phone. And they had the little phones on the mount then.
Yeah.
And he told me, "I already called the fire department. Did you need to call somebody?" So I called my brother, and I called Brooks' mom, Lisa. I called her. And I told him I got that sad story. My car burning, this. So Lisa gonna be on her way. My brother gonna be on their way. And while I'm sitting out there and I hear this from the Holy Spirit, the firefighter came. When the firefighters came, the firefighter called me over to the car. Confirmation that God had spoke to me on that bridge. When they called me over, he called me over, and them Colors had those little vent windows in the back.
Yeah.
Didn't let down or anything, but that window was melted out,
Wow.
and he was poking around in there for hot spots, and the seats melted down to the springs. And he said, "Come here, come here." Called me over there, and he was flipping through my Bible. The outside was scorched, but not one page was burned in that Bible.
Wow.
And chills were standing up on my neck, my arm with chills, both of us. He's like, "Man, somebody trying to tell you something."
Yeah.
I said, "I just heard it, sitting over there on that bridge, loud and clear." So really, that was my beginning with ministry, if you're asking me,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
God was letting me know. So I started my trek. It's time for me to get in line with what God wants me to do. And so He was letting me know that my time, everything that I had decided to do, my time was up. And so the
Wow.
first thing, you going to Dallas doing all this, that's what you decided to do. And when God says, "If I didn't call you here, I didn't anoint you, and if you ain't anointed, you won't have no power," you know. And so I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, I wanted to do the other. God says, I ain't. So I had to humble myself. I had to come back here because I was one of these people. I'll never live back here. I never do that. I never do that. I never do the other. And so I had to humble myself. I had to come back here. And when I humbled myself, came back here, and I got under some good leadership, and I sit. And that was in 96 when I came. Went from Deacon Board and Elder Summer's grandfather, Papa Spencer. I used to go over there and sit under the tree with the old man. He would sit on this tutelage, Sunday school, and all that. And he would let me speak in his Sunday school class. If you ever been in Papa Spencer's Sunday school class, you know the old man didn't play.
Right, right, right.
If you got up and spoke in his Sunday school class, you better be on point with the lesson. You better be done studied. You better bring, some good subject matter to the fold,
Yeah,
or else he was finna sit you down,
he
you
sure
know.
would.
And so, getting on this tutelage, listening and all this stuff. And so went from Deacon Board, chairman of Deacon Board, minister for about a year, then going on to be an elder. But thank God for the lessons and everything, him bringing me to the place in ministry that he did, you know, because it was humbling.
Yeah, yeah,
And even now, it's just like me being where I am now. You're continuously be on a learning curve.
yeah, yeah. So how long have you been pastoring now?
I've been pastoring now since 2008, so I'm in my um, 17th year
It's been that
pastoring.
long,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
It's been a while.
yeah.
So you built the church.
hmm Yeah, just recently, this November, we celebrate our first year of being in. We started November of last year. Uh, we January we actually had our like grand opening, but we opened the doors and started having service in November
Wow,
of
congratulations.
23. Appreciate it.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
sir.
Thankful, man. Thankful.
Yeah. So
Grateful.
you you're under Bishop Wiley. Wiley.
Well, Bishop is my godfather, and he's provided a covering for us that I'm grateful for, man. He is it's been dynamic as far as giving me, showing me some insight and being somebody that I can share with and providing me with insight and oversight and just grateful for him, to have him in my life.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So when did you decide to get into politics?
you know, that's interesting something there too because the politics thing was something I never even thought about, you know. But the interesting thing that happened with the politics deal was there was a guy that came by here one Saturday, and I was coming home from the shop. And when I was coming home from the shop, the guy was leaving our house. He had just knocked on our door, and our house sits on the curve.
Hmm.
And I was coming around the curve, and I knew, Anthony Hales.
Yeah.
I knew Anthony was everybody. The rumor was Anthony may or may not run this last term. And I knew that. And so when I saw the guy, I said, thought to myself, before I would see somebody like that get this, I would run myself. Just thinking to myself, never said nothing to nobody or nothing. And so when, some people were talking and they would say, well, Anthony gonna run one more time, you know. So I let it go, you know. And so that 4 years went by, never said nothing. When the next time came up, same people were running again. Somebody approached me about it. I was like, I remember that last time I thought about that, just entertained the notion in my head.
Yeah.
Never spoke it out loud, never talked to my wife about it or nothing. And this lady said, you came up in a group. A group of us was together, and you came up. I was like, well, let me pray about it and let me talk to my wife, you know. And so I talked to my wife, and we talked about it. And then I said, I want to talk to Brother Hales, you know. And so I went and talked to Brother Hales. When I went and talked to Brother Hales, he said, you know what, man? He says, I was asking God to send somebody that, you know, I could have faith in, that I would leave in this place in good hands, leaving this seat in good hands. Because, you know, they had to sue and get the Justice Department to come in 1996, because they didn't have a majority minority district until 1996.
Huh.
So they had Voters League and all that stuff down here, and they had people that actually fought to get, you know, minority districts in throughout, you know. And there are some places that still don't have minority representation in their, you know, just like to the north of us, like Lamar County, you know, there's some places around us still don't have minority representation in their county, you know, on the board of supervisors. So he's like, you know, I had prayed about, you know, and so I feel like that I can rest a little easier after speaking with you, you know. I felt great that he would kind of give me that, you know, like stamp of approval, like I, you know, because there was 10 people that came out that first time. But they say that's what happens when a seat get vacated. It's like a lot of people come out, you know. And so when the election came up, because I'm still feeling some type of way, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
You don't know what's going to happen. There's 10 people out here, you know. But I won the election by almost 70%
Really?
of the vote. And so there again, God put his stamp of approval on to give me the reassurance that he's with me. And
So you
so,
what was it 2000 and what year did you get elected to the board of
I had to
supervisors?
run in 2015
Okay.
to get elected 416. And so this is the first year of my third term.
Wow.
And for my third term, I didn't have an opponent. Thank God.
Well, so ladies and gentlemen, just so you understand, the board of supervisors, he's on the board of supervisors for Pearl River County, and the board of supervisors is a, a legislative executor
Yeah. And
for,
in other,
for
yeah, not to cut you off, but in other states, it may be like in your state, it may be a commissioner,
okay,
county commissioners, or just like in Louisiana, they police jurors, or they call them police jurors or parish presidents, you know.
okay.
So in different states, they call different things, you know.
But in Mississippi, they're called
Supervisors, board of
board of
supervisors. Yeah.
supervisors. So
Hmm.
how many supervisors are on this board?
5.
5. So
Yeah.
I bring that up because you brought it up before that they had to bring down um, the state election committee because there was no minority representation on that
Yeah,
board.
they had to bring down the Justice Department. Justice Department. Yeah. They had to
So
get the Justice Department involved.
so I was looking on the web page, and there still seems to be only one person that's a minority on the board of
Right.
supervisors.
Right.
So I guess I want to ask you how was it going from something that they had to bring down the top people to make sure this is done um, equally and fairly.
Now with the now it's federally regulated where that the census the way that the census is done, we all have a number that we have to have in our, and we just, they just did the census again. And so we all have a number that we have to have in our district that meets the criteria for the federal level in order for the lines to be done fairly. And so when those lines get ready to be drawn, it starts with my district and it's done around my district.
Okay, so
But
the
I still have to make sure that it's done fairly because that's just like they had, it's getting harder and harder for minority district to be made up in Pearl River County because people are more and more people are moving out into the rural areas, you know.
uh,
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it ain't no large pocket of minorities living in one populated area like it used to be. You know what I'm
okay,
saying?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, people are moving out into the more and more people are moving out into, and the more that happens, then the more the large sales. Like I just took in that area right there in Carrier, that area in there by New Hebron.
yeah.
That was the last large sale of minorities that were in Pearl River County.
So I guess in your instance, gerrymandering it would be a good thing.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
now, lady,
Exactly. So some of that had to happen for me to get that area. But I also had to take in some areas south of that in Ozona.
right, right.
So, I had to take in some good, some bad with the good. So you had to take in some areas south of that to get what I wanted.
Now, we often hear
Because
about the gerrymandering process, but it's always negative. But I guess people don't really look at what happens to the African American community as a result of not being able to redistrict the lines appropriately.
yeah,
It would shut out the whole African American community in that capacity, right?
right. Yeah. Because my district runs from south down in Nicholson all the way up Poplarville and out to White Sand. And see, by you being familiar with, being down here, and you in the guard, right?
Uh huh.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Right,
It
right.
runs from not the very bottom of Nicholson, but the tip of Nicholson, just below where the armory was down there. It runs from there all the way up to. In some places, you could live on one side of the road and be in my district, and the other side of the road, you're not.
See, I never did understand that stuff, man. That's like crazy.
Yeah,
That
but that's the way it is. Yep.
so what does a county supervisor do?
Okay, we take care of the roads, the bridges. We take care of the court system. We take care of that's circuit and chancery. So the circuit is like the voting, criminal stuff, and all that stuff. So all the stuff that goes through the criminal activities and all this stuff like that. Man, if if we didn't have bad behavior in the county, we'd be sitting on nice piece of money, you
Hey,
know.
when you figure out that piece on how to get knuckleheads from being knuckleheads, you
Yeah,
let me know.
yeah, because we our medical expense, just our medical expense alone in the county, in a county, you know, we got one of the fourth largest county in the state, but our medical expense alone, we got a private medical rather than trying to do it ourselves. We got a private medical uh, company that comes in and take care of our medical. It runs us well into 6 digits, close to 500K. Take care of people that's sick in jail, you know.
Man,
Yes, sir.
what?
Yes, sir.
I
Yes,
think y'all
sir.
got too many people in jail down there, Doc.
And meals. Well, you know, we house state and federal inmates as well.
Oh, I
And
didn't know y'all
it's a
house
little money.
federal.
It's a little money in that. You know, we make a little money off of doing that, but you know, kind of helps balance things out for us. You know, because we got the room down there. Yeah, that kind of helps. That kind of helps facility out. You know, so we kind of have to look for ways to make some money as well. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, not that I want the county to go broke.
And you got some people that don't want inmates to be out working. And I mean, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, what they got? They're already using up all the medical resources, eating up all the food, and they won't stop committing crime.
You got some people that you want to just sit down there and do all this stuff.
Yeah, play
And
chess all day long.
yeah, yeah, but
So,
yeah,
how many terms can you serve?
we don't have any term limits, and I'm not saying it just so I could stay in office. But I'll say this: it took me 3 years to build a community center over there, and why I'm glad that and I know you voted here for a while, but I don't know exactly where you guys voted, but the voting precinct slash community center that I built over here on the south side, I voted over here for a long time, and the voting precinct that we built, community center over here, we voted at Southside School, we voted at Friendship Park, we voted at the National Guard Armory twice. We were in
Mhm.
there. They had change of command. They kicked us out. Now we were back over there again, and some voting precincts are still in there, you know. But they were in there. Change of command came. They kicked us out. Then change of command again. They let us back in there again, you know. But when you have a freestanding voting precinct, you don't have to worry about those types of things.
That's
And
facts.
so that's what the Secretary of States want. They want us to have a free. So I bought that when I came in. And so on my first term, I went to this seminar in California, and that's one thing I do like to do. I like to travel and network, see what other places are doing. And they had this 3P concept, public-private partnership. And I saw in LA County where they had built this beautiful building, 31-room courthouse, big, huge. I ain't trying to build nothing like that. I want the concept. So industry, the private sector, and private citizens are able to come together and do this private. And that's what I did over on Beach Street.
Yeah,
And when I came back and told my guys about it on the board, don't trust me, I get some pushback now, you know. They was like, you ain't gonna be able to pull that off. You ain't gonna be able to pull that off. But what they were doing, they were getting ready to build a building up at the jail. And when they were getting ready to build this building up at the jail, it was gonna be a little building for them to work on cars, for the inmates to work on cars. Because they had an inmate up there that was a really good mechanic. I said, look, I want that same building on Beach. It's like 40 by 6, 2,400 square foot building. I want that same building on beach. Well, they couldn't deny me because they finna put it up there. Just a middle building, you know. Okay, we'll give you that $50,000 seed money. But how you gonna finish the rest? I'm gonna go out and solicit money from the public and industry. Just give me a county letterhead. Let me go out and do it. Okay, we'll let you do that. You ain't gonna be able to raise that much money. So they gave me that. I go out, start soliciting from different individuals because this lady at an MLK meeting, the lady who we named the center after, she had asked we go out and solicit money, $1,000 a family. We can build our own community center. You know.
Yeah.
I was intrigued by that she had that much faith that she, felt like we could do that. Go out and start trying to do it, all that. First time out, she got shot down because somebody, messed up the whole meeting. But in any event, here we are. I got a chance to do this. And I was supposed to go to this thing where these people were expanding their building. This industry was expanding their building. And I got jacked up. Somebody told me the wrong information, wrong time to be there and all that. But the guy say, hey man, I want to, show you around the place and all that. So he gave me his card and told me to call him if I ever need him, right? So this day I'm up in the house praying, walking around in here. I said, I'm going to call that guy and ask him about this. I had dropped a letter off before. So I called the guy that day, told him I, wanted to talk to him. Left my voicemail, really. So I'm coming back from Poplarville. He called me back, tell me he in town. And he say, okay, well, look, I'm in town today. They got a company here in Lafayette. I'm in town today, and I want to meet with you, I go over there, meet with the guy. When I get back in town, him and the other guy, they called me in the office. I got a rendering of what I want this building to look like, attached to the letter, right?
Yeah.
So I go in the office. I'm in there talking to the guys. I'm telling him, he said, okay, how you want to do this? He got a red pen. He taking the pen, start marking up the paint, all that stuff like that. You want a couple of offices right here, this and that, conference room right here. He said, so this 2,400 square feet? I said, yeah. He said, that ain't big enough. He wrote 5,000 in the middle of it. I said, what about 5,000 square feet? I sit back in my chair. I said, yeah, that'd be nice. See these conference rooms. He said, you gotta have some bathrooms, all this stuff in here. Man, you need a commercial kitchen in this place,
Yeah.
all this stuff. Then after he finished writing all this stuff down, he said, why don't you let us build this building for you?
Wow. So they built the building for you.
I said, man, you got to be kidding me. He said, we've been trying to put our footprint here, let people know we're going to be here. They were right over there off Martin Luther King. We've been trying to put our footprint here, let people know we're going to be here. We want to do something in the community.
Wow.
Let us build this building for you. That's the good hand of God, man.
Wow.
That ain't nothing but the good hand of God.
Yeah. What I can't understand, let's go back, because they was getting ready to build an automotive center for one inmate that was good. They plan on keeping him there the rest of his life?
Well, the shop gonna be there. The shop gonna be there regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The shop gonna be there regardless because they got an inside thing. They've been washing cars out there in the weather and all this
Yeah.
stuff like that. So they got a place where that they can pull cars inside and wash them and change the oil and different stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what they building that for, you know. But my thing is this, is that whenever something getting ready to jump off, you gotta have your ear peeled and all that stuff like that. And sometimes I leave with stuff just to say that, hey, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna put it out there because I don't care. I'm I'm bold enough to ask. And
Yeah.
sooner or later, y'all gonna realize it's like a Nehemiah anointing. The hand of God is good on me, and I got letters from the king.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what functions outside of voting does the community center do? I mean,
Man, we got um, several things going on over there right now. Like I told you a while ago, we just submitted a grant um, to this um, um, deal to this Maximus Foundation to try and get some things done through them because I'd like to see some more things be done here in the city. Um, and with that, um, and so let's see, we got we people automatically people are able to rent the building out, and so they always use it for the MLK committee, that little after thing that they have.
yeah,
They use it for that, and so early head start they use it. They have they different classes and different things over there. Youth workforce, we got classes going on over there now where that the youth are able to get their high school equivalency, and then they're able to pilot them onto jobs, and they pay the first 600 hours. That's through Southern Mississippi Planning Development District.
yeah,
I'm gonna tell you how the Lord worked, man. There again, how the Lord worked. I was able to get some funding after Katrina. That's how I was able to build my building through some low interest SBA money. But SMPDD, Southern Mississippi Plan Development District, was one of the people that were loaning that SBA money out. And so me and Patrick both were able to take advantage of those monies that were out there. And I was trying to tell anybody that would listen because this was a go zone after Katrina.
yeah,
And so with that being the case, we were able to get our shop built. Our bank had never heard about it. You know what I'm saying? Because what they would do would come in behind the bank and guarantee the loan, you know, and you get a lower interest rate. And my wife being a minority, she was double minority. And so you get a lower interest rate with her being on the loan, right? So here it is. I get on the board of supervisors, and with you being on the board of supervisors, they have a spot that comes open on the board of supervisors for SMPDD to have somebody sit on their board of directors for each of the lower 15 counties.
huh,
So I get on the board of supervisors, and nobody don't want to sit on the board of directors for SMPDD because everybody conservative. They don't like grants and programs and different things of that nature. So I'm honored. I'm honored to sit on there.
yeah, yeah,
These folks done helped me out, man.
yeah, yeah.
And they were talking about kicking them out the county at one time.
Really?
Yeah, them little old ladies over there at the senior center, over there, L Patch over there behind the car dealership over there.
Yeah.
Them old ladies loaded up in a van, came up there to our meeting.
So, but now you know, ladies and gentlemen, I grew up in southern Mississippi, and all of Mississippi counties, those little small counties, they still stuck on some Jim Crow stuff.
Yeah, they conservative. They didn't want they were for the kick it up. So they started doing a snapshot of all that they do for the county. So the Meals on Wheels and the the senior center, them people go over there and eat every day and have
Yeah,
their activities on. They take care. They do all that stuff. So them ladies came over there. What are y'all doing? But they were finna take their funding and for the 60 something $1,000 that we invest into SMPDD, the veteran stuff, all the different stuff that they do. We get about $1.2 million of actual dollars back into the county through that agency, grant dollars.
and they trying to get rid of it.
Ever
I
since
mean,
then,
I'll take that $1.2 million. I mean, I
that's
take,
what I'm saying. I know what to do with it.
I know exactly what to do with it.
But that's just a little bit, Department of Human Services, Breast Cancer Awareness, the Bobby E. Nixon Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation, the Civic Women's Club. You got all kind of groups, black and white, that use that center over there now.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
uh, the uh, the Lower Pearl Valley Foundation, Chamber of Commerce, they done had their meeting over there. The Masonics group, but that's that grant that I told you I was working on. That's that we just submitted a grant to the Maximus Foundation to try and get some monies uh, from them. Uh, yeah,
So this 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 may be a crazy question, but how do you think everything that you went through in life prepared you to be the leader that you are now? Because I mean, obviously, you getting a lot done in the community. You've been being elected what since 2014. You've been in office. People keep electing
15.
you.
Yeah,
2015, they keep saying, "Hey, we want more Hart. Let's give us more Hart." you know
you
what?
know,
What?
you know, but Jan, I'm humbled by it, and I always remind myself to remain humble because I know that these people could get anybody. They could get anybody they want. And I keep reminding myself to remain humble because, you know, it's servanthood. And you asked me something else about the term limits too. I'm really glad it's not because I started off talking about the center, and like I was saying, it took 3 years to build that thing because COVID happened, you know,
Right, right, right.
and uh, with with that happening, got stalled, got bogged down, and all that stuff like that. And so with that happening and getting stalled and bogged down and stuff, you get setback after setback. But I'm thankful and grateful about a lot of things. But with servanthood, and all these things, you know, it takes so long to get things done in government,
Yeah,
you know. And so if you do get chop blocked, let's say I get in there one term, the center don't get built. You know what I'm saying?
that's true.
If I don't have that second term, but because I didn't get started on it until like 2.5 years into it, So that next term, if I ain't got that next term to get it completed, then there you go, you know. And so that's just like some of the roads that I'm trying. We got 1,110 miles of roads to take care of. 856. We get like 300 some of those roads. State aid. We get state aid with 856 miles. We have to take care of on our own.
Yeah.
Now we got tractors and all that stuff. How fast and how much road do you think a tractor going up and down gets taken care of in the run of a day or a week or something, you know.
Right, right.
And so it take a long time to get around in your district and take care of things and keep things mowed with the weather and different things and breakdowns, and so things just go slow, man. They were it's worse than turtle speed, you know.
But it's a race of endurance.
Yeah, exactly. It don't go to the swift or the strong. It's you got to be able to endure, you know.
Now, do you see yourself running for mayor or anything like that?
You know, people keep saying that, and I don't see it, but I didn't see this, you know. So I can't say, you know, never say never, but you know, I certainly don't see it at this point, you know.
Yeah. But I mean, I bet you in 1965, they didn't see a black man being on the board of supervisors
Right,
in the
right,
first
right,
place.
right. Because I could show you some of the pictures up there, and like I said, until Anthony came along, ain't nothing up there that looked vaguely like us, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you. I've always admired your work, always been very fond of your ambition and just your willingness to just try to get stuff done. And for what it's worth, I know you're a whole lot older than me, but I'll say I'm proud of you, sir.
Hey, I appreciate you, man, and you know, you always had the tenacity to get things done as well, and so you know, you as well have always been a go getter. So
Well, I appreciate it.
guess guess it's in the genes.
Yes, sir. Hey, don't hang up. Don't go just yet. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been talking to the supervisor, Donald Hart, Pastor Donald Hart. Look him up on his. Give him an email. Shoot him an email. Let him know what you think. It's dhart at go at pearlcounty.net. What is it? What is your email?
Yeah, that's it. dhart at pearlcounter.net.
Hey man, the old man, cognitive thinking. I can still think a little bit.
Yeah.
And look him up on his Facebook, and it's just Donald Hart. You'll see
Yep.
the nice young man standing there with his wife. Uh, that picture in the field that you guys took, man, that's a fantastic picture.
Hey, I appreciate it. My granddaughter did that. Jay.
Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. She did. She aspiring to do several things. So we're trying to keep her encouraged. Whatever. Told her the sky's the limit. Whatever you want to do, you can do.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
All right. Give me 1 second. Don't hang up, though. Don't hang up. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking with Pastor Donald Hart. I hope you enjoyed this segment. Listen, maybe you got a story you like to tell. Go ahead and hit me up at LEEWILLJ at gmail.com or JWill Music Production LLC at gmail.com. I want to hear your story. You might be in politics. You may be a doctor. You may be a nurse. Just hit me up. Let me know what's going on. This has been brought to you by JWill Music Production LLC and also Chris Crain at Charliesmusicfactory. Don't forget to hit me up. All right, until the next time, may the Lord God bless and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you, and may the Lord God give you peace. Holla.